What's going on, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you my review for Michael, the 2026 bio documentary movie of Michael Jackson. Kind of like what they did for Elvis, except I refuse to watch a movie about Elvis. But before I go any further, please make sure you hit that like button because I know you bad enough to do it. You see what I did there? Moonwalk your way over to that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that notification bell. Be notified of more reviews like this one. Leave a comment down below. I always love to hear you guys' thoughts. And visit and donate that Patreon that's in the description right down there. So, what is Michael, the 2026 film? This film is about the life of Michael Jackson, starting from like the 1960s. 66 up until 1988, year I was born. And so we're following how he and his brothers became the Jacksons, the Jackson 5, and his, I was gonna say his meteoric rise to fame, but we're also dealing with, the abuse by Joe Jackson and a lot of the hills and pitfalls that he was facing as trying to become his own person. Now, granted, and I wrote this in my notes, there's going to be some inaccuracies in here. A friend of mine told me that apparently someone had counted like 700 inaccuracies. A, damn, you got a lot of time. B, are you a lawyer? But it's these type of bio documentary things aren't going to always have like the truth. And a lot of times they're made by the family, which, I want to say like two of the remaining Jackson brothers, as well as LaToya, executive produced this. Also, what's my guy called? John Branca, who is in charge of the Jackson estate, Michael Jackson's estate. He's a producer on this. So yeah, they're gonna frame some things in a certain light. With a little bit of my research, because this takes place before I was born. There was the Victory Tour controversy, which this movie doesn't cover a lot of. It doesn't cover that. Some of the things are changed because, again, it is a movie. This is more or less for like fans of Michael Jackson, super fans of Michael Jackson, hardcore fans of Michael Jackson. And yeah, we could address some elephants in the room, but I do get kind of annoyed when black man gets exonerated of things. And there's, if you want to believe some stuff, we even going to like OJ stuff, right? We all, as far as I'm going to say this, people were exonerated. The supposed victims said that, said their piece. And if people were looking for that to be in here, nah, that wasn't going to be in here at all. But there are some things that are covered, right? So the plot is like seeing Michael become his own person. In terms of a movie, I didn't even write a rating for this one. I think because of the subject, like who we're focusing on, it's going to be pretty interesting, or you're not going to be interested. For me personally, I'll put it at a 4 out of 5. There was a little bit more I wanted to see, but we'll get into that later. The effects, I'm putting this at a 4 out of 5 only because the sets are great. Like seeing the sets from the tour or the sets for the music video / movies. A lot of the lighting and things are great, especially the costumes or outfits. Those are very well made, very well done as well. It's not a perfect because, well, A, this isn't the type of movie to have that, and B, we get CGI Bubbles and then CGI Louis the llama because Michael finally got that llama he wanted. Music is 10 out of 5. Yeah, I said 10 out of 5. I'm just going to put this out there. If you as a person say you don't like his music, you have shit taste. I said what I said. You got shit taste, bro. You may not have to like a person, but yeah, I question your taste. You ain't like nothing from like Jackson 5 all the way up until what was the last album? Butterfly. I digress. The pace for a 22-year journey, and a movie that I believe was 2 hours and 50 minutes long, 127 minutes. Yeah, 2 hours and 7 minutes. So I actually almost forgot that this movie was that long. I remember looking at my watch, going, "Oh snap, it's been 2 hours." I was thoroughly engaged. So pacing wasn't too bad. I guess I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Well, yeah, I'll give it 4 out of 5. Right. So here are some things to note. This is a really great cast. There was some top-notch acting done here. Like Coleman Domingo playing Joe Jackson. He's played a villain before. I just don't remember what movie or if I've seen the movie. But he does a great job of being the menacing, abusive, manipulative Joe Jackson that we all know. I was so worried that this was gonna, like, they were gonna shy away from this, because in like the first 5-10 minutes, it's like, well, he seems like you get the feeling of a black man from Gary with his 5 sons and LaToya. It's so funny. He says, "Shut up, LaToya." That was so funny. Michael did. But you guys, kids trying to get out of Gary, Indiana, tired of working in a steel mill, but you can automatically see some of the rhetoric, right, on a lot of the abuse and forcing the kids to take gigs while at the same time still having to go to school, beating the hell out of Michael, which I wish they would have. One of the things I wish we would have seen how abusive he was to the other kids, right? Because I know it couldn't have just been him. So, but then it's as soon as you hear the talk of, there's only winners and losers, it's like, abusive as fuck. Okay. Oh, you beating Michael. Okay. I won't mention that part right there. Nia Long as Katherine Jackson. Damn. Good job, y'all. Because Nia, when you first look, it's like, damn, that's Nia Long. And then she's acting. She's in character. She's great job. Miles Teller plays John Bronco. The Lorenz Tate as Barry Gordy. Because I was looking and said, wow, Barry Gordy looks, oh shit, that's Lorenz Tate. Good. He did a great job. Dion Cole playing Don King later on. I had to do it up. I said, is that Dion Cole? Just, the actors did their job. Now, my favorite character in this movie, Bill Bray, played by Keelan Durrell Jones. He's kind of a relatively new actor. He did a great job as the bodyguard protector of Michael since he was little, and sticking with him, at least in this movie, up until 1988. It's kind of like a second father for MJ in this movie. So I don't know if this was a real person or not. A lot of these events had take place before I was born, so I did minimal research. But as I come into this, again, these type of docu-movies, a lot of it is changed and played up because it's supposed to be a movie, and it also needs to be entertaining while also honoring this person here. It's actually at the very end of the credits. It was in memory of Tito Jackson, because I guess Tito had passed away right when they decided they were going to do the filming for this. Jafar Jackson playing adult Michael Jackson. Also, the ones who play younger Mike, I believe his name is Giuliano Cruvaldi. Great job as young Michael. But Jafar plays his uncle. Great. Jafar is the son of Jermaine Jackson. Really great job. I'm just wondering, like, if you watch any clips of Michael, that little soft voice he does, that's his show voice. Like, that is, oh, I'm going to seem, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-threatening to other people. Let's just say white people, but non-threatening, ABC 1, 2, 3. But there was times when his real voice slipped out. Like, I do like one of the scenes where they were dancing for the Beat It, and he's meeting the actual people who are from the neighborhoods of LA and all that. Like he was down with the lingo, and I can believe it because look up the clip of when Janet won the award and he was up there with her, and it was Biggie. I forget who else was with Biggie, but he dapped him up. I was like, oh yeah, Michael is a brother from Gary. Yeah, cannot forget that. So here's some things that wander into my mind now. Where's Rebe? Where's Rebe Jackson? Granted, she was born in 1950, but where was she? Where the hell was Janet? Right? Janet was born in 66 when this movie starts off, which is one thing I do appreciate. I like that. I really like that it wasn't the birth of Michael and it's like, oh, this boy looks and feels just like he's different. No, just you start off showing they're inside during the winter. Other kids are outside having a good time while they are forced inside to keep practicing and singing and dancing. And hey, Michael, pay attention. Look at me, Mike. Just trying to do. Now, I don't know if we were trying to do the James Brown. I don't know if we were hinting that Michael was like autistic or anything like that, but that's what it was given. But at the same time, it was also given. He isolated this kid. Like, Joe isolated him and legitimately just said, no one out there's going to understand you. And one thing I do agree with the speech, he's like, you don't get a lot of yes men, which is true. Although Michael hit the jackpot when he paid attention to who John Bronco was. So I digress. Yeah. Just some of the choices make you think. I'm still wondering, where the hell was Janet? Like, she was on Good Times, y'all. I mean, if they did his life up until the 90s, Scream, I actually wonder if they're going to do a part 2, because at the end it goes, his story continues. So I am wondering if they're going to do that and cover some of the other things that happen. They did a good job of showing how his fame touched other people, not just like, signing toys for kids and their parents at the toy stores, not just going to hospitals and visiting children, or even while he was in the burn ward after the Pepsi incident and donating all of his winnings from suing them there. I like that when you see which concert was it? It's the Bad concert in London, the final scene. We got people fainting and you got people crying, both men and women just crying. And you see with the Victory tour, those things, to my recollection, even when I was here and people would see Michael Jackson, like at the BET Awards, when he did his dance with his friend Chris Tucker, or he was it the Soul Train Awards where he danced with James Brown too? You felt his star power. So they did a nice accurate representation of that. I already said I'm glad they didn't shy away from abuse. There was a tongue-in-cheek thing about his Villalago when he was using cream to kind of blend the shading in, and just the woman there where he's going to go get his nose done. We're going to talk about that in a second. Just saying, it's more common than people think, which it is. I have a person I went to high school and college with, and she, while she is lighter than I am, she also has Villalago. So, yeah. I mean, outside of assholes that like to bully people about everything, people really shouldn't care about it. I do want to press her. Jafar was saying that one of the things he wants to impress upon people is that his father was proud to be black, and it's crazy that people he turned himself white. Okay, I mean, I don't know. Folks can do research, but we live in a day and age where no one would do research and people would not think outside of their own feelings or opinions about stuff. Well, that is how you form an opinion. I'll say we won't think past your own feelings about things, but we're gonna talk about that. Let's talk about Joe Jackson's abuse. Whooping Mike when he was young. He called him Big Nose. which I said, I wonder if that's going to come. Yeah, that of course I was going to come back to where he had work done, which Jafar, I think that was probably also part of the CG prosthetics too. That was a really good job, because as far as if I look at this picture here, which I cannot put up on the screen, yeah, no, he got his daddy's nose. He got the regular Jackson nose. So that's decent CGI. I'm glad I gave that a 4 out of 5. Using Michael's fame to, because Michael was like, I hate to use the term front man, but he was a front man, right? He was the one in the front with the voice, using his fame and his solo albums to propel the family, even forcing him to have to work late, because at the time Joe was his manager, saying, yeah, no, I mean, after his 9 to 5, he's mine. Jehovah's Witness as well. That's kind of interesting dynamic there, that I wish they would have touched more on the Jehovah's Witness part, because I don't think they celebrate like birthdays and holidays and all that other stuff. So a lot of that stuff can explain, why he had some of this childlike wonder to him. Also, like, they're pushing, like, Michael wants to be free and he wants to do his own thing. He does not want to be shackled and all that other stuff. He wants to move forward as a musician. He also ruined, in this movie, he ruined the Motown 25. Like, everybody's come back congratulating him on how great he did out there and how great his album was doing. And Joe, of course, made it all about him. Whether Michael got burned, he cared more about, well, can he tour again? It's just like, bro, this man's telling you he has nerve damage and that your son almost died, and that's all you care about. Which, that's, I find it hard not to believe that. It's very interesting that they call, in the movie, the kids call him Joseph, not dad, not father, not daddy. They call him Joseph, and they call mom, well, mom or mother, right? Which I know, and also have women in my life that have been in abusive relationships. So to kind of see that portrayed was like, you're thinking to yourself, why doesn't she just leave? But it's not always that easy for people in abusive relationships. And I'm saying people, because, men, women, they, them, people in abusive relationships, it's not always easy for someone to move forward and to break free from that. So, before you get too heavily judgy, everyone responds to trauma and stuff differently. There was a small Prince joke in there. While he's in the pool and they're living in Encino, and Mike has the giraffe and the peacocks and CGI bubbles, but he's in the pool and he's going through these songs and stuff. Because he has a vision and he can see it. I love that he has affirmations. Like, he has affirmations for himself before he starts to sing. He puts stuff up on the wall. But the Prince joke came in where he says, I'm trying to receive these songs from God before he gives them to Prince. And I laugh. That made me laugh hard as hell in the theater. I don't really care about anybody else. I thought it was funny because they were both witnesses, right? I'm pretty sure that's why Prince passed away, because he didn't want to take medicine. Even in his movie, Mike's like, I don't want to take the medication, but kind of needs to, because your nerves are going to be exposed and you're going to be in a lot of pain. So, but yeah, did they feud more when he got older? I don't know that history and that background. Granted, it's being told from a different light, right? So, interesting, like during the burn thing, because kind of see it coming, right? He gets burned doing a tour that he really didn't want to do, that his father boxed him in, saying, you'll do what's right for the family. His mom says sorry. And he's like, Mother, I don't want to talk about it. But he also tells her, it's not your fault. Great acting from Nia Long, too, in that scene. Really, really great. The triumph of, like, breaking out of his father's, I don't know, hold or grasp, because that family, they lived together for a long time, which is, And 2026 is really not that uncommon for folks in their late 20s and early 30s to either be renting or to be roommates with parents or family members. It's really not all that common because the economy we are in is shit. So, but with this, with Michael being like literally worldwide superstar, kind of makes you go, damn. At least in this movie, he really had that kind of hold on him. Again, I'm speaking in terms of this movie. In the movie. What was some other talking about? Want to do things his way, always reflecting back to the Peter Pan thing. It seemed like as soon as he got to LA, he's able to enjoy more of the cartoons and like the Disney stuff. And there's pictures of him with Minnie and Mickey Mouse and the suit actors. There's footage of that. So I do like how he has callbacks of the people that inspired him or that he was practicing the dance like, especially James Brown. There's Fred Astaire, and there's Charlie Chaplin, who, you know, was not just an actor or dancer or singer, but also director, writer, things like that. Stuff like that. It's like, okay, I can see where the real Michael Jackson would get inspiration and things from. It's stuff like that I'm more interested in. Pardon me. Get to see a lot of his philanthropy. I already mentioned about the stuff he did for the kids and the children in the burn ward as well. But yeah, we don't get too much into that controversy of the Victory Tour. But, and I will talk about my favorite scenes. It is interesting that was a way of him telling his dad, like, no, not gonna, you know, that's it, not doing any further, I'm gonna do my own thing. Which, according to some of the things I read, granted, I found some stuff on Wikipedia. If I need to look at more articles and stuff like that, or watch more documentaries that you can easily find. But in the confines of this movie, that was interesting for a man who could not, for the longest time, stand up to his father. For him to do that in front of him on stage, in front of thousands upon thousands of people, that was very interesting. And also, kind of, I don't want to say telling, but you got to think there are avoidant types of people when you have someone that's overbearing. There's still people that can't now, you know, have conversations with their parents because there's still that type of overbearing trauma. It's like, oh, mom or dad they're gonna do it like this, so there's no point. I'm just gonna go around or avoid them. Or how about you tell them? But I like that it's supposed to encourage people to, I don't want to say face your fears, but face your battles and your conflicts head on, and be sure about one. I won't say be sure about what you're doing, but bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. I really like the Bill Bray character. You know, where he starts to shine outside of telling Michael, call him Bill. He starts to shine where Mike takes the drive. You know, after his father's. One of the times when his father's trying to box him in, and, you know, I want to be free of this. And I like that he is able to have a heart to heart with him. It's like, well, you want to live out on your own. Granted, you know, it's not easy out there, but hey, you know, get a lawyer, do this, do that. Bill played a secondary father figure. I was interested in whether or not there would be like some type of romance between Bill and Catherine, which, again, looking at who's producing it, of course they're not going to do that. But again, it is a docu-movie. They will change some things. But, okay. But yeah, he's my favorite character by far. One of the things I forgot to talk about in terms of the abuse, you know, abusers always like to keep a person under their grasp and make sure they know as less as possible. And I enjoyed the scene where Berry Gordy's teaching a young Michael what, you know, things on the soundboard are when you're in a recording studio. He's like, you can come to me anytime and ask me anything. Berry Gordy of Motown. He even cut Jermaine off because, Jermaine stayed with Motown while we all move forward. He made his decision. It's just cutthroat. So cutthroat. My favorite scenes. Dancing with the people, the street folks, right? And for the beat it thing, I like that. That was really, I like that. I like the thriller part, like how he was filming that and coming up with all that. That was fun. Already mentioned it, but the nods to the people where he learned some of his dances and his movements and how to perfect them. Yes, he did not come up with the moonwalk, but he's like the best one to do it. Like, just like Michael Jordan didn't come up with the slam dunk, but he one of the best people to do it. So just saying. So just like Steph Curry, he didn't come up with a 3-point shot, but he one of the best ones. Where am I at here? Showing the isolation. I already mentioned the thriller scene. So we start off with, I guess it's supposed to be Bad in London '88. The flashing lights in there was a little bit annoying. I will say that. I did not enjoy that. And then coming back to that scene, I'm glad they make those flashing lights a lot briefer. A lot more brief. How's the proper sentence structure for that? I guess a lot more brief, right? But I did like the bad scene. I'm glad like you played that all the way through. That was fun to see that. Just even the stuff when he came back to do the victory tour stuff. That was fun to see too. And while there's obviously things that are kept out and things that are changed, I really, really enjoyed this film. Especially, I stayed all the way to the end. If you haven't watched this movie before coming to see me talk about it, stay all the way into the credits. Like, it's Michael Jackson music. It's a tiny little concert you're getting at the end. It's fantastic music. Some of the best end credit music I've heard in a very long time. For me, for this movie, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Yes, I am a fan of Michael Jackson. Yes, I have my opinions about his life and choose to believe and not believe what I choose to believe or not believe. But this is a good movie. Watch it. Watch it if you are... Let's pretend like it's not about the Jacksons, which it's going to be hard to not put them in it. It is a decent tale about, abuse and how abuse lasts from childhood, even all the way up until when you're an adult. I find those elements very interesting and how a person needs to break free and become their own person. There's a line his mother said, because I did minimal notes for this in there. I was just trying to watch it. She said, "Don't let anyone dim your light, including yourself." I like that, right? It's a decent case study in acting. While I've seen some people say they thought the acting was wooden, I didn't get that at all. Everyone plays their jobs or does their jobs very well and plays their characters very well, especially Jafar. So for me, it's a 5 out of 5. Let me know what you think of the movie once you've seen it, right? Are you going to go see it? If you're not a fan, I get it, right? I get it. If you are a fan, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song? Remember the Time. If we get Michael Part 2 or something, I'm gonna need like Eddie Murphy and Michael Magic Johnson and Remember the Time. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. I doubt if we do, but I'm gonna need that. My favorite song of his is Remember the Time. Man, that like a Janet Jackson though. That's a choice. That is a choice. One thing that I'll leave you guys alone. The scenes that, what was her name? She was supposed to play Diana Ross. Cat Graham was supposed to play Diana Ross, and apparently due to legal reasons, they had to cut all those things out. I wonder what Diana did not want people to see or to find out about her very controversial relationship that she had with Michael that came to light decades later. Yeah, Dirty Diana's about her. That's crazy. Yes, guys. PDs is not just older man to younger younger girls. It can also be older women to young boys, and that's. I wonder how different of a movie that would have been. I really wonder how different of a movie that would have been. But I digress. 5 out of 5 for me. Let me know what you thought of it. Comment section down below. Tell me your favorite Michael Jackson song. Please do not forget to hit the like button. It matters. We are very close to 500 subs. 20 off, I believe. So share the video. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe if you have not. Hit the notification bell, even if you aren't, so you can get notified of more reviews like this. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I know I got a lot of backlog, but trust me, I got some good stuff coming. Please, as always, leave a comment down below. Visit the Patreon. That link is in the description below. Whatever you choose to donate, I will be graciously appreciative of. Please, be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. It's too many jerks in this world. And take a page out of MJ's book. We're trying to do what you can to help heal the world. And if you are feeling down and out and depressed, and if you are feeling isolated and bullied and abused, talk to someone, please. The terrible passing of, if you watch Storage Wars, I don't know if you do, if you heard of it, but Daryl Sheets, his tragic passing. Look, talk to somebody. There are people out there that care about you, that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. Allow people to help you carry your burdens. You are not alone. I promise you that. That's also a Michael Jackson song. You are not alone. You want to talk to me? My social medias are in the description down below. Give me a follow, say hello, be mellow, and we'll be good to go. All right, y'all. I will see you next time.